Hari Om. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great text, Vivekachudamani, authored by the great Sri Adi Shankaracharya and taught to us compassionately by our dear Guru Swami Paramarthananda. We are studying Shloka 15 of this great text. I will recite the verse and then we will pick up the thread from where we left. In the last to last capsule. Verse 15. Ato vicharah kartavyah jignasoratmavastunah samasadya daya sindhum gurum brahma viduttamam. Shankaracharya in this shloka temporarily concludes the topic on vichara, which began in the 8th shloka. He concludes it here for the time being by saying, hence the seeker after the reality of the Atman should take to reasoning after duly approaching the Guru. Duly approaching the Guru. We must be reminded of the Mundaka Upanishad mantra here. Samit Panihi Shrotriyam Shrotriya Brahmanishtam. After duly approaching the Guru, and what qualities must this Guru possess? Who should be the best of the knowers of Brahman? Brahmanishtha, and must be an ocean of mercy. The two Sanskrit words that Shankaracharya uses are Brahmavid Uttamam and Daya Sindhum. Brahmavid Uttamam and Daya Sindhum. To describe who a guru ought to be. What are the qualities that such a guru must possess? So we looked at Brahmavid Uttamam to mean that he has to be established well in the knowledge of Brahman. He is the greatest Brahma Jnani. This Guru is the greatest Brahma Jnani. Brahmavit, the word Brahmavit means Brahma Jnani, and Uttamam means the greatest Brahma Jnani. Uttama, the word Uttama indicates Brahmanishtha, Jnananishtha, Atmanishtha, Sthita Prajnaha. So, the qualities of Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham are indicated here. Although Shankaracharya only mentions the Brahmanishtham part, the Shrotriya goes along with Brahmanishtham. He is not a mystic. This Guru is not a mystic. He has been a student of his Guru and has been coming down the Guru Sishya Parampara. He is a Sampradayavit. He knows the methodology of teaching methodology that he has learned from his Guru. So he ought to be a Shrotriya. Shankaracharya says, if there is an Asampradayavit, don't even approach him. You may do a namaskaram from a distance and leave the place. An Asampradayavit is to be respected for the Brahma Jnanam that he possesses, but he has not come down the Guru Sishya Parampara and does not have the knowledge of imparting this great jnanam to his Sishyas. Shankaracharya very clearly says, avoid such a Guru. So the word Shrotriya is understood in the Brahmavid Uttamam, although not explicitly mentioned here. He mentioned another qualification that a guru must possess, which is where we left off previously. And that qualification is he must be a Daya Sindhum. A Daya Sindhum. One who is an ocean of compassion. One who is an ocean of compassion. Daya, the word Daya means compassion. And Sindhuhu, Sindhuhu means Samudra. Sindhuhu means Samudra. Daya Samudra. Kripa Sagara. Karuna Sagara. And why is he a Kripa Sagara or a Karuna Sagara or a Daya Sindhum? Because he has discovered his freedom. One, he has discovered his freedom. He is a Nitya Muktaha. By his Guru's grace and Ishvara's grace, he was able to discover that he is a Nitya Muktaha. Moksha is his nature. Moksha is not somewhere far away, is not distant from him. Moksha is not paroksha. And he discovers that he is the infinite Brahman. The parichinnatvam also vanishes. Once he discovers that moksha is his nature, two things vanish. One is moksha being far away, and his notion that he was a limited entity also vanishes in one stroke by virtue of recognizing the Brahmatma within himself as himself, not within himself, as himself. He claims himself to be Brahmatma. So once he is free, in his vision, the whole world and the samsara is mithya. It doesn't have any sara at all. Asara, asare khalu samsare. Samsara swapnatil tulyo hi ragadveshadi sankulah swakale satyavad bhati prabodhe satyavat satyasat bhave. Samsara simply vanishes. Like the thief would run away when the flashlight is shined on him, or like the darkness of a cave vanishes. The darkness of a cave that existed for millennia cannot stand in front of a flashlight. So, because he is free, he discovers in his vision the whole world and samsara is mithya. And he is soaked in that awareness that the whole problem is mithya. He is soaked in that awareness. He never loses sight. He can never ignore himself, which he did previously. Before becoming an Atma Jnani, he, like all of us, had ignored himself thoroughly, completely. Now that he has not only discovered his nature, but he stands firmly, he abides in that nature. He knows that the whole problem of samsara is mithya. Now that he is liberated, he has discovered his nitya muktatvam. He sees the world and samsara as mithya, fully immersed, fully immersed in the understanding that all problems are mithya. Fully understanding that all problems are mithya. That's why at the beginning of the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Vyasacharya says, or Sanjaya reports, he says, Prahasanniva. Krishna just had a smile on his face. He was not laughing at Arjuna's problems. Krishna knew that Arjuna was wailing for something that was not real. And Krishna, being Jagat Guru, being Ishvara, he had the solution with him and was ready to let it go because Arjuna had asked for it. Yachreyasyan nischitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna and requested Krishna to teach him what was good for him. Yachreyasyan nischitam bruhi tanme. Tell me in no uncertain terms. Teach me in no uncertain terms, O Lord Krishna. Therefore, Krishna had a smile on his face, a gentle smile, indicating that he had the solution in his possession. So, the Guru too, this Daya Sindhum, after understanding himself, knows that the problem of samsara is mithya. It's completely false. It's a wrong notion that we have been carrying in our minds successfully, janma after janma, for millennia. When teaching and guiding students, the guru must be very careful. The guru must be very careful. He should not let this understanding show explicitly. He must remember that he too was in this position before he became a jnani. He was fortunate to have come under the shelter of a Mahapurusha. Durlabham trayamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manusyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshrayah. He too was a samsari. He too had to go in search of knowledge, and fortunate that he was, with Ishvara's blessings and his Guru's blessings, he achieved, as it were, the Parama Purushartha that was his own higher nature. Having done so, when he is called upon to teach this subject matter to his students, he must be careful not to let this understanding show. The seeker, his student, his or her student, views the problem as grave. It is a grave problem, it's a serious problem, just like Arjuna's problem was on the battlefield. The problem was so grave, Arjuna's problem was so grave, that it took 17 full chapters for Arjuna to say to Krishna, to answer to Krishna by saying, Nashto moha smritir labdha. In the 18th chapter. Moha is not an easy thing to get by, to overcome. Raga, Shoka, and Moha takes a lot of education. This Vedantic study is to be undergone consistently and systematically for a length of time under the guidance of a competent and live acharya. Shravanam has to take place. It is only through Shravanam, that consistent Shravanam, that you get jnanam about the truth of everything. Until then, the situation is quite grave in the mind of that seeker, in the mind of that sincere seeker, that mukshu who wants to become a jigyasu and thereon a susrushu. The seeker views his samsaric problem as real and grave. Samsara is a massive issue. Is a massive issue. cannot be brushed aside that easily. Suppose the teacher just brushes aside the problem. Suppose the teacher just brushes aside the problem because, in his vision, the teacher's vision, it is not there. What will the student think? What will the student think? If the teacher dismisses the problem because he or she has resolved and dissolved the problem, dissolved it, what would the students' thinking be? What would the students' thinking be? We will continue this discussion, this important discussion about how the Guru should handle a sincere seeker of knowledge in the upcoming capsules and take our study forward. Until then, Hari Om. ॐ दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यः मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ